3 of our 9-part chair yoga series. This one is a little more intense, working into the hips and the lower back. So if you're not warmed up, you may want to revisit our part 1 introductory video so you can kind of get the body warm and flowing before we get into these deeper poses. Otherwise, if you're already warmed up, go ahead and join me here on your chair. I'm moved forward in the chair a little bit to challenge myself using my postural muscles to stay upright. If you need to be resting the back against the back of your chair for support, feel free to do that as well. Coming into your starting position, we're just going to gather our focus using the breath as a tool. So I want you to just really focus on settling into your spot, setting your intention for today's lesson, and connecting with your breath. That may mean the eyes are open or closed, whatever's right for you. You may have some gentle music playing that you can focus on. As you really connect with the breath, feel it moving in and out. Notice where it's getting stuck. Notice where it's flowing freely. Try to focus on those stuck areas and pull that inhale in there. Really open up the body, preparing the mind. And as we keep going with the breath, I would invite you, if it feels right to you, to imagine a circle in front of your face. And we're just going to go around that circle in one direction. Doesn't matter which way you went. Starting to warm up the spine, starting up in the neck. Your circle can be as big or as small as you like. You might start out small and grow. You can move as fast or as slow, and you can change it up as we're circling. If you'd like to work with the yoga breath, we're exhaling on the bottom half of our circle and inhaling on the upper half. One more time around. We'll all meet back in the center position for a nice big cleansing breath in the center before we change directions. So think about which way you were just going and go the other way. And remember to start small, start slow and with control, and build your circle as you go. Checking on your posture and letting those shoulders be relaxed. And as a reminder, if you choose, we're inhaling on the top half and exhaling on the bottom half. One more time around and we'll all meet back in neutral. Stretching out, one final stretch here. We're going to take a few nice deep breaths to warm up the body to get into our deeper moves. Then what we're going to do is we're going to flow a series of moves on one side, and then we're going to repeat that flow on the other side. So when you notice I don't move to side 2 after the first pose or 2, don't panic. There's a method to my madness. So let's bring those hands into prayer and just take a few nice cleansing breaths. Using the arms or not, whatever feels good to you. You may be breathing, just using your lung power and leaving the arms out of it. And since we're all here with different motivations and intentions, use this series to work for you. Release those hands, shake things out. We're going to get ready to begin. And again, I'm moved forward on my chair, so I've got some room behind me for working. I'm challenging my upper body a little, but you may be back in the chair, so don't feel like you need to mimic me. Work with your body through these moves. Make any changes, adjustments, modifications that feel right for you. Feel free to leave things out or substitute to make it appropriate. So we're going to let's start on the left side. Everyone starts on the right. Let's start on the left side today. So we're going to just start by flexing and pointing the foot. I've got my leg lifted here, but your foot may be low. You may need to hold your leg up. So whatever feels right for you, we're going to point and flex the foot. It's helping to get the blood flowing, getting the lymph flowing. It's a lot of times where that flow is happening against gravity. It's very nice for the legs to give it a little encouragement as we turn that flex into ankle circles. Going in one direction and then going the other way. Go ahead and relax the foot. Staying focused on that left side, we're going to go into a quadricep extension, working those muscles in the upper front portion of our leg. You may be able to, just sitting here, extend the leg. You may need to hold on to the chair for a little extra support while you do this. It may be better if you're leaned back in the chair. So I'm going to start in a very simple motion for this, but know that you have all those variations. So for us beginners, we're going to sit with the back against the back of the chair. Hands using the chair as an anchor to help hold us steady, lifting that left foot off the floor. That might be enough for you. If you can, straighten. You may need to hold the leg up for support and straighten. We're just moving through some range of motion here for the knee and working those thigh muscles. I'm just going to do 3 or 4 rounds. And then from here, we're just going to pull that knee into the chest. So I'm wrapping my hands around the shin and really helping to pull that knee in. Remember, I'm sitting tall here. I'm not starting to slump over. Use the chair to help support you. Even resting that foot on the chair, if your chair allows for that. Make sure you're not holding your breath. That would be easy to do here. And we're going to change this position. When you're ready, we're just taking that left ankle over to the right thigh. Now we want to just be mindful of our knee here. You're not putting any pressure on the knee, but that left ankle can cross anywhere along that right thigh. If your knee is up in the air like this, it just means that your hips are tight, and that's okay. Just let gravity help open that up with time, and don't feel the need to rush anything. You may want to take your hand and place it on that left thigh to give it a little added pressure. Don't push too hard, just a little added weight to work with gravity. But again, don't force anything. So this may be all the stretch you need. Or if you're more flexible, you may be able to start folding forward. So we're not folding down, we're coming forward, hinging at the hips. I like to use my hands behind the chair, pushing down into the chair. That helps keep the spine aligned as we start coming forward. And you can stop anywhere along this traveling where the stretch is all that you need. If you're more flexible, you may be able to release the chest to the legs, dangle the arms and drop the head. You may prefer to support the head. You have lots of options here. But I would invite you to hang out in this pose for a few rounds of breathing. If it gets to be too much, just lessen the pose, but try to stay in some format of the pose if you're able. Working with your breath. The hips can be notoriously difficult to get to cooperate with you in your flexibility goals. So be very patient and just know that consistency will be your best friend in working on the hips and the hamstrings. One more breath here. I'm going to slowly lift the upper body. If you're folded, keep the legs in position if you can. We're going to turn this into a twist. So the right hand is going to come to the left knee. The left hand is going to grab that chair behind you. Inhale, lifting tall. Exhale and twisting around. Using your breath. Just noticing where you're feeling that. You may be feeling it a little more in the hips than you do on most twists. And that has to do with our leg position. Still massaging all your internal organs, helping to squeeze toxins out of the body. So because of our deep and intense twisting, I would make sure you drink a little extra water today to encourage that detoxing and flushing out for the body. 1 or 2 more breaths here. Let's go ahead and slowly rotate back to the front. Release that left leg. You may want to do a little mini twist, a little forward fold, just any type of movement that feels like it's counteracting what we just did. Breathing, moving, just adjusting to rebalance here in the middle before we go to the other side. And you may want to pause and just compare the left side of your body to the right side and see what you're noticing here. And your experience may not be the same as mine, but I'm feeling that my left side is a lot looser and pain-free than the right. That's because we mostly worked the left side on that round. So let's see if we can bring those sensations back into balance by working on the right side. So if you remember, we're starting with our foot flex and circle. So foot low, foot high, hold the leg up if you need to, and just work on flexing and pointing the foot for a few rounds, encouraging circulation on this right side of our body as we prepare for this flowing movement that we did. Turning that flex and point into circles when you're ready. Changing directions if you haven't already. Go ahead and finish up your movement. Bring that right foot back to the floor as we prepare to pull that knee into the chest. Oh, we got to do our quadricep extension first. So we are going to lift the foot. Again, this may be enough for you. You may be able to slowly start to straighten the leg. You may need to hold the leg up into place. Work on those quadricep extensions. Getting some mobility through the knees. Strengthening those quad muscles. Again, thigh can be rested down, lifted up. Depending on what your body is working with here, any injuries or illnesses or recoveries could change this stretch for you. So one more time, we're moving back to center. Now we have our knee to a chest. So lifting that right foot off the ground, guiding that knee into the body. Foot rested on the chair if that works for you. Or just using the power of the arms to help glide it in. Compressing the internal organs, helping to flush out any toxins here in this move along with our twist. So if you find you're getting sore after this yoga workout or any workout, probably means you're not drinking enough water. That will help remove that lactic acid from the muscles that creates the soreness. So when we're ready here, we're crossing that right ankle over to the left thigh, preparing for that deeper hip stretch. So go ahead and adjust on your chair, sitting back or sitting forward, feeling that opening on the right side. Noticing any differences you may have encountered from the left side that we just did. You may want to place your hand on the thigh. Don't press right on the knee, but on the thigh to gently help that stay open. And again, this may be an intense enough stretch for you, so it's okay to stay here. And if you are here, if this is enough, really focus on your posture and breathing. It's not about the forward fold. It's not about the intensity of the move. It's about getting into the move that works for you and is effective for you. So focus on your breath. Add the forward bend only if you need it. And stop when you reach your edge. Your edge is the place where you're feeling the stretch. You're not sure you could go deeper. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. That's your edge. You always want to stay on the safe side of the edge. And as you think about your breath, know that each exhale is taking you just slightly over the edge. You may not feel it, and that's because you're keeping it in your safe zone. But let the exhale intensify your stretch. Don't let it be force or ego or power. Let it be gravity, let it be breath, let it be nature that's moving you into the stretch. Releasing the arms and the head if you're able to, if that helps your stretch. And we're all going to be in this differently, and that's the way it should be. I'm going to stay here for 2 or 3 more rounds of breathing. I'm going to slowly start to lift up. Slowly unwinding, keeping the legs in this position if you're able to. So we're going to work on our twist from here. So left hand will come to the right knee. Right hand will come behind you or on your chair, wherever it feels natural kind of to reach. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, and let your twist move you around. Taking your time. We're going to stay here for a little while, so you don't have to move full force into the twist all at once. Work on letting the breath move. Is your breath flowing? Take a moment to stay in touch with the breathing, stay in touch with the movement. And with your next exhale, work on unwinding, slow and with control, moving back to the front. Releasing this right leg. We're going to do some just subtle movements, counter stretching, all of that we did, whatever feels like it might need to. Release, side bending, twisting, forward folding, or even just rotating around. Real gentle movements. Just listen to your body. We just got a few more smaller moves, then we'll wrap up our session for today. So when you're ready, start to close out these counter stretches that you've added in. When you're ready, we're going to reposition on the chair, moving forward to the edge, keeping enough of your sit bones on the chair that you feel supported. We're going to open the legs up as wide as you're able. Let the toes point out, not anything exaggerated, just a subtle out movement. Now let your weight kind of flow forward. We're not rolling back. We're rolling forward in the chair, and we're going to create a forward bend here. So you may just want to rest the forearms on the thighs and let the body and belly drop down here. That may be all you need. So feel free to explore that. And again, you can inhale and lift, exhale and flow. Just opening up the lumbar spine here, all that space in between the hips, right across the low back where many of us get tension. If you have more flexibility, those hands may come to the floor. You may need to have a block here, folded blanket or bolster. If you can get this far but not all the way down, bring the floor up to you. Or you may have the flexibility to drop all the way down. Just a few more breath cycles. When you're ready, just slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, moving back to an upright position. Readjust yourself in the chair so you're comfortable. Anything we do from here doesn't need any specific leg position. We're going to do a nice stretch for the arms and the neck and the shoulders before we close out today. So I want you to put that left arm down, right arm on top, and we're going to just bend the arms around each other. Palms together as best you can. My palms aren't level. Yours may be, and that's okay. You can feel this stretch in the shoulders. We want to play around with lifting the elbows and dropping them down. I'll turn slightly so you can see. And we're working all across the shoulders, into the front of the shoulders, the top, and into the back. Maybe feeling that across the upper back as well. You may recognize this arm movement from the eagle balance pose. So we don't have to be doing the full pose to get the benefits of the upper body movement. And go ahead and release. Roll up the head And we're gonna do that on the other side. I'm rotating so you can see, you don't have to move. This time we have the right arm down, left arm on top. You'll probably know if you're not on the opposite side because you'll feel the same sensation. So just make sure you go the opposite. If you get into the pose and it feels somewhat familiar, you're probably repeating your same side. So get the palms together as best you can, pushing the arms into each other and creating that lift and lower. Again, very subtle movements. You may get the arms into a position where the stretch feels divine, so just stay there and breathe. Let the shoulders open up. You can change the head position. See what that does for your stretch. I wouldn't do anything real exaggerated, but just subtle movements, up or down along with the head as the arms move. And prepare to close out side two. When you're ready, just relaxing the arms. Now just roll the shoulders out to release anything we built up there. And roll around the other direction. You may want to drop ears to shoulders, just slowly rotating back and forth, side to side. I would invite you to exhale as the ear drops and inhale during your transitions, working with the yogi breath. And we want to end so balanced from side to side, if you can remember which side you started on. So let's do one more time on each side, trying to create that balance, ending the head movement when you get there. And we'll close out with a nice big breath cycle. We'll do 3 rounds. Inhale, nice big inhale, exhaling, and repeat. Inhale and release. And one last time. Make this your biggest breath so far. Inhale. Exhaling back to prayer. I thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned for part 4 of our 9-part chair series. And be sure to subscribe and hit those notifications so you don't miss the next upload. Namaste. Go in peace.